Did you know that there are literally, and this is an inappropriate word, gazillions of microbes out there? But literally, there's an estimated 10 to 50 million viruses in a teaspoon of seawater. Most of them don't cause any harm. We actually need them for ecosystems to function. Only a few of those, though, then are kind of emerging bad things, and even fewer of those are emerging in marine mammals. Emerging diseases happen because of a change in conditions. This can be in the animal, this could be a change in the microbe, like evolution, or it could be a change in the environment, which allows the microbe to spread.
That's Dr. Dominic Travis, a wildlife veterinary epidemiologist by trade, and currently the Marine Mammal Center's Chief Programs Officer. In his current role, Dr. Travis brings more than 25 years of experience in designing and implementing solutions to complex challenges across human, animal, and environmental health. He's done so across 4 continents in the hopes of mitigating effects of infectious diseases, toxins, and pollutants on our shared ecosystem.
The point of this is that we live in this ever-changing dynamic ecosystem. Everything is really interconnected. All of our health then depends upon and is affected by each other. So we think of this as the kind of the ecology of health.
That sentiment is shared widely within the scientific community and brings me back to the mantra I hear over and over: their health is our health. It's a line that's always stuck with me and inspired me to start volunteering here 20 years ago, something that I do to this day. I'm Giancarlo Rulli at the Marine Mammal Center, and this is Sentinels of the Sea, a show about what we've learned from 50 years as a critical first responder to seals, sea lions, whales, and other marine mammals. Emerging marine disease. Now, I'll admit, when I first began researching this topic for this podcast episode, I knew I had my hands full. To even attempt to unwrap a complex web of data that's increasingly alarming scientists was going to be a major challenge. The idea ignited 3 years ago, sitting on an ocean overlook in Mendocino, California, rapidly turning through the pages of Drew Harville's 2019 book entitled Ocean Outbreak: The Rising Tide of Marine Disease. It was the following line from Harville, a professor of marine ecology at New York's Cornell University, that was an eye-opener for me. Quote, "We have created a perfect storm of outbreak conditions. Given the many ways we have mistreated our oceans and made conditions friendlier to microbes, it's no wonder that we are beginning to see more outbreaks of marine diseases." To Harville's point, we are finding more emerging diseases every day. There's 2 reasons for that. First, it's because some things are truly emerging, like COVID. Second, the awareness and importance and the attention it's receiving results in us looking more and developing better tools to find them. Regardless of how they're found, the following events exemplifies the problem. We are seeing the impact of deadly freshwater skin disease in dolphins from Australia to Galveston Bay, Texas, as a result of wild swings in environmental conditions. Tens of thousands of seals have perished since the early 2000s in the Bering Sea due to distemper virus. And right here along the California coast, the rise of land-to-sea disease transmission, including deadly protozoal diseases like toxoplasmosis and sarcocystosis from wild and domestic mammal excrement, increasingly wreaks havoc on our seal, sea lion, and southern sea otter patients at the center. It's exceedingly difficult to treat. Making matters worse is the impact of climate change that increases ocean temperatures and intensifies storms and subsequent runoff water, including parasite volume into the sea. And while we have collectively dealt with a global pandemic beginning in 2020, a new deadly strain of avian influenza is circulating among many species of wildlife and has spilled over from wild birds into poultry and cattle here in the US. An extreme example of this in our world is the spillover to marine mammals in South America the last 2 years, with devastating consequence to individual populations, and it will take a while to understand its true long-term impact.
We've got some alarming pictures, but an important story to show you. It's from Argentina. It shows a massive die-off of elephant seals. It happened late last year. According to scientists, more than 18,000 seal pups died, and the deaths are now being blamed on a surprising threat, the virus that we know as bird flu.
In smaller and less recovered marine mammal populations, the effects could be irreversible, including extinction. The complexity of this problem means that you can't deal with combating emerging disease using a single solution or a siloed approach. This creates the need for three critical things: collaboration, technology, and dollars.
So marine emerging diseases sit at a confluence of underfunding. Health is underfunded and getting worse. Emerging diseases and issues are underfunded and getting worse. And the ocean is underfunded and potentially getting worse. So that's not great. But the beauty is that people are starting to pay more attention to this. So our hope is to combine these issues to really go and understand these better. One of our biggest needs is really thinking about innovative approaches. It's the ocean environment. You got to be clever to work in that. And that often involves technology, and technology is not necessarily cheap. Things like satellite tags to follow our patients after they go back into the ocean, right? Those are not cheap.
You're basically saying we've become very adept as a species at unraveling ecosystems rather than putting them back together. Is a more holistic approach needed at this point?
Definitely. I think by starting with a big, broad look at things, we often do things that we call conceptual mapping, where you draw the whole picture of the problem so that you can think about that in that way first before you target your solutions, because you want to try and predict the things that will happen as a result of that.
And I'm sorry to butt in here, Dr. Travis, but how can we make that move that you're describing from just investigating the things that come to us to, say, pushing deeper into disease and emergence risk with wild animals?
We are augmenting our 50 years of experience of rescue, rehabilitation, and release across 600 miles of California and Hawaii with research and with more education. But our research is aimed at not just what we're finding in our patients, but digging deeper into the how and why that happens. And in order to do that, we got to go back into the wild and study more of that population ecology that we talked about before. We got to study that spider web, because the Marine Mammal Center and the patients we get are kind of the strand in that sense.
In order to do this, I would imagine that partnerships are going to play a key role.
Yeah, we're built to deal with individual animals and to discover and try to solve challenges on those individual animals. To think about the bigger picture, population sustainability or ocean health, there is no way we can handle that kind of huge, wicked problem, those problems with many solutions that may or may not work, without a myriad of partnerships. So we're all about partnerships. We're actually an interesting node in a big spider web of partnerships that are trying to get at ocean health.
To learn more about the Center's marine disease research and conservation efforts, visit our website, marinemammalcenter.org. I'm Giancarlo Rulli. Thanks for listening.